My fellow Bearcats, today we are here to address a great political divide on our campus. That's right, the front of the chapel versus the back of the chapel. I'm looking at you, procrastinating millennial.
So I heard Baptists don't like dancing. No, CLW, no, Kirk, you and what the and JMC. I just said poop. Calm down.
It's live from Bolivar with
Not So Live.
Yeah!
Welcome to this week's special edition of Not So Live. I'm Cooper.
I'm Anna.
I'm Chance.
And I'm Haley.
Let's get to today's announcement!
Woo!
Tonight, Monday from 6 to 8 in the Driscoll Art Gallery in Jester, Kirk Caddy, SBU's very own hired holy man, will be having his own art show. Be there.
Tuesday night, there's a spiritual warfare coffee talk. The Students for Life America are meeting, and also the State of the Union address.
Wednesday, the Bolivar Bowling Company is starting their own thing for SBU students. Bowling is $5, 10 to midnight. I got some deadlines to talk about. Friday, deadline to sign up for the Married Couples Retreat that's happening in March. Check that out. And on Sunday, it is the Intent to Graduate deadline. For all you seniors, make sure you intend to graduate on paper so you can get the other paper in May. Without further ado, let's get to our panel this week.
Hi, I'm Mariah Gilmore, and I'm the president of the College Democrats.
Jeffrey Metzler, I'm the president of the Southwest Baptist University College Republicans.
My name is Abby Barnell. I am the president of Young Americans for Liberty.
Let me do quick introductions. Yeah. All right. I am Cooper Locke.
I'm Anna Brizendine.
I'm Chance Fidel. I know nothing.
I'm Haley Campbell.
All right. So I'm gonna go first with a few questions. So this is open to all of you. How would you define civic engagement?
So usually civic engagement is viewed as things like voting. So voting is an easy way to get involved in your community. Obviously there are other ways you can, and one very government class-like answer is contact your senators, contact your representatives, and those things do matter. Those things are important, which again, it's a very government class answer.
You could also volunteer for campaigns if you're really involved. That's requires a bit more involvement and a little bit more time, but taking part in campaigns or getting involved in other civil organizations and community-based organizations, that's what at the end of the day each party is supposed to be for, is to serve the people.
If you want to be engaged, make sure you have the knowledge. Make sure you have as much knowledge as possible on what's going around with politics, when it's going around with international governments, the government that you have in front of you and what's happening. As long as you have that knowledge and you're willing to make a difference about it, then you can lead to all those other things and getting involved in politics and voting and everything else. But you definitely need to have the information first.
Think for yourself.
Okay, kind of building off that, as a citizen, what are my responsibilities?
Your responsibilities as a citizen of the great United States of America is to take part in our democracy, because not every nation is blessed with that capability. Yes. Mainly just recognizing that is a privilege that you should not take lightly, and to encourage others to be involved.
Even if you don't think that your voice matters on the federal level, in a state level, on a local level, you have a massive impact. You're the person that's voting to have these state reps in, you're voting to have these mayors and these governors. You're the one that actually has an impact on what's going to happen around you. So even if you don't think you're going to have an impact on the president, you still have a major impact on your state reps and everything that's going on around your local community.
And in Bolivar we have things like the Board of Aldermen, which are town hall meetings, which are always great to get involved in. It's a good way of knowing what's going on in Bolivar, because you do live in this community, even if you live in another state or another area, you still live here 8 months of the year. So it's important to get involved in those ways and know what's going on in Bolivar, because this is your community too.
So can you guys explain to me why people, or maybe more specifically college students like us, why should we watch the State of the Union address?
This State of the Union is special in particular because it is the first time in American history, to my knowledge, that a president has been quote-unquote uninvited, so to speak. That term is debatable, but we'll use that term. Uninvited from the State of the Union, and that the State of the Union has also been rescheduled. Really, every State of the Union is important, because that is what the president, that is when he or she lays out what he or she wants to do in this country and what legislation they want to get passed and what they're planning on doing. And so if you know what they're planning on doing, then you can take part of that democracy and be involved with that, because again, it goes back to the first question.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it lets you know what's going on in the government around you. Because again, like, you don't hear everything that's happening. You just hear like the big stories, such as the immigration things that's happening, or like whenever it comes to budget. But like, whenever you have the State of the Union, you get to hear more information and you get to know more about what's going on in your government. And it also helps you learn. If you don't agree with something, it gives you like a push to be more involved, and it gives you a drive, and like, I don't like that, I want to do something else, so I'm going to get involved in government.
And I would say this year matters not only because it was delayed, it is the first time. No, but we have an election next year, and so people are going to start, Democrats and other parties and libertarians, and so we're going to start putting in their bids for presidency, and so it's good to know exactly, like, here's what Donald Trump is saying now, and it'll help influence voting. Kind of like, man, I really hated that State of the Union address. Well, now you have an idea of what you kind of want to vote for in the future and what issues matter to you.
As a viewer watching the State of the Union address, what can I expect to see both on the television and at the party that your organizations are hosting?
How'd you mean the State of the Union address, or like a party? Because our party is a bit more controlled. I meant like the party, like cake.
That's the important part.
I tell you what, cake can cross all party lines.
That is factual.
Yes.
That is very factual.
So,
I guess for like the actual State of the Union, what to expect,
Yes.
I would say immigration, the issue there, that's going to be a very prominent one. The wall. I'd be very surprised if the wall was not mentioned, or the
Budget. Budget's definitely going to be a big part.
wall, or what's the other word that's used?
Any trade deals that are going on.
Steel barrier.
Barrier, yes, wall or barrier.
and it's Donald Trump, so we can expect something unexpected.
There might be a couple of people he brings out and just like, I love this person. He voted for me.
Yeah, I mean, like last year, if you watched, he had like stories from people, so we don't, and that was something that was kind of unusual for the amount of stories he told, so we don't know. So there's always something that Donald Trump wants to bring in for his own little flair.
He's an anomaly.
He is an anomaly, so you never really know what to expect with
Because
him.
it is tradition that the president will invite certain guests and sit up next by the First Lady, and he will kind of mention a story his or her legislative agenda really affects, and so to kind of help show how this is personify and show that it is affecting real people.
Now for the fun part, what about the party? What can I expect as an attendee?
So,
Punch, cake.
yeah,
Well,
Main things we need to know.
The libertarians on campus will be bringing punch and utensils.
Our Vice President, the great Tiffany Hartzler, who that woman does not get paid enough for keeping me in line.
Yeah,
I tell you that. Constant email reminders. I'm like, oh yeah, I got to do that. So sometimes I refer to myself as just the figurehead. Tiffany Hartzler really is Mike Pence. So she will be making cakes. We will have a chocolate cake, a vanilla cake, and for one of you individuals who just indecisive, we'll have a marble cake as well. So they are homemade, and they should be decorated in the American flag regalia. So
You had a cake.
yeah. So and some salty snacks too. We'll also just might introduce ourselves more again, and we'll be there answering questions. We also have some fun games plans, like find the Congress member bingo. So find the attendee bingo.
You have to actually know what your kind of going to look like.
Right. So we'll have other
Find your blood.
That sounds like the most fun that people would never want to have.
Yeah, so we're trying.
Welcome to politics.
College Democrats are just here for moral support. There's like two of us. It's fine.
Now, obviously, not every media source is biased. So you all have your favorite media source on campus. What is your favorite media source?
I get
Infused.
Infused.
I do that.
Infused. All the way. No bias there. Just towards us.
I feel attacked.
Are we going to the last one then?
And
Okay.
I want to throw one more in here. It's not on the list.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So I got one more. Do you think the State of the Union speech holds the potential to change people's opinions?
I don't think
It has the potential. This goes back to people being stuck and grounded in their ways. If you're just stuck and grounded, no, it's not going to sway you. But if you are one of those people that, for the more libertarian, do go back and forth and don't have one set party, they're a lot more able to look and evaluate the facts and opinions that are being presented. Certainly, it will sway you. It will either make you even stronger in your already existing convictions, or it will possibly move you over to the other way. But you will be swayed one way or the other.
Yeah. So my interpretation of the State of the Union is, again, the president is just supposed to be giving you information about what's going on in the government. So essentially, it's not supposed to persuade you any other way. It's just supposed to give you that information. You're supposed to interpret it as you will. So I think its initial goal isn't to sway you anyway. However, you're going to take that information and either you're going to reject it or you're going to accept it. So it's not going to sway you anyway. The point of it is to give you that information. And therefore, whenever you receive that information, you're allowed to, again, look up more information about it. You're allowed to investigate. You're allowed to go down that path. I don't think it's supposed to, and I don't think it will.
I will add that she's right, it's not supposed to. However, it has tended to become.
Just let me be right.
that
Yeah,
way.
no, you are right. It is, I mean, it's the purpose of the State of the Union address is to inform of current policy and what we're going to see in 2019 out of the White House. And I mean, if you want to be swayed in your opinions, that's why we're having this party, because you'll hear three of us yelling at each other probably.
Yes.
And, but it's
Some
fine.
louder
I
than
mean,
others.